What's up, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. In this video, I'm going to be going over the usual updates for Bitcoin. The first thing that I want to talk about before I get into the charts is the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index chart. As you can see here, I mentioned briefly on the community tab post the other day about how, as we can see here, with the most recent local low around 55.8 thousand, just not too long ago, Fear and Greed Index got all the way down to a 29. The last time with since the uptrend, at least for Bitcoin, going all the way back around approximately 15,000, the end of 2022, which is going to be down here in this broad zone. This is not Bitcoin has not been below, in terms of the Fear and Greed Index, below 30 since going all the way back to when Bitcoin was at around 15 to 18K, setting the sideways range of the low for the most recent bear market, then leading into the bull market that Bitcoin has been in since then. And the actual, that last time that Bitcoin has even seen specifically a Fear and Greed Index score of 29 was here. You probably have a hard time seeing it. I even do as well looking at my own screen, but going all the way back to the very bottom, at least the bottom that this Fear and Greed chart is showing, approximately 15.8K around mid-November of 2022, the Fear and Greed Index also saw 29 back at around basically 16,000, and then Bitcoin recently again saw it at around 56,000 approximately. As I was saying, I mean, going all the way back to below 30, Bitcoin does not see this typically until it's leading into and making an actual bear market low. So to see this as Bitcoin here is trading at the all-time highs is a very good thing, I think. First off, the 6-hour chart that I've been updating recently. As I said not too long ago on a community post, each of these trend lines, the white, the red, the yellow, the median of this channel, have all been broken. The 200, 300, and 400 EMA band, these white estimated moving averages, has also been broken. Bitcoin has been on quite a nice rally so far, moving all the way from 56.4K now to at 65,000 almost on the dot. Just recently, actually, within the last roughly 2 hours, Bitcoin at 65,000. Again, like I said, breaking the RSI down here. All this is very good to see. Totally could come down and test maybe somewhere around approximately 60,000. Not only being a psychological value, but if we see here, look at the volume vector control zones, there's nothing below approximately 60,000. And as I've been saying, I mean, Bitcoin can totally continue to go lower here, go down to closer to 50K or even down to around 43K, as I've been saying. But right now, I do lean towards this, at least this lowermost, this what's been supporting this downtrend that Bitcoin's been in, being held. So far, it looks quite promising. The Bitcoin could continue to go here with some strength, and this is actually, given how this has been a pretty interesting run to watch, this actually has been the worst downtrend Bitcoin's been in since approximately 15, 16,000. I can find go to the right here around approximately 72,000 all the way down to this low. This drop has been approximately 26%. This is the, like I said, this is the most sizable downtrend, the most sizable correction Bitcoin's seen since the low, bear market low at around 16,000, 2022 into 2022. So again, I think I'm looking out for 67K next, and then above that 70 to 72,000 to be broken, to be watching here on the critical, these lower time frames. Look here at the daily, the one I've been going over recently. We can see here that the price with this recent upswing, as zooming in, the last daily candle closed above the 50 EMA, turquoise EMA associated with this purple band. That's going to be very crucial to see. Bitcoin right now is above it, but Bitcoin to continue to move above that. We can see how important that was going all the way back to this upswing, the end of January, how important it was right here, mid-October of 2023, here as well, June this year, right here as well, March. I mean, every single time in an uptrend, this 50 EMA band, breaking it and continuing to showing strength, as we are doing right now, along with this bullish divergence I've been talking about on the lower time frame, or the more micro of this chart, and then on the longer, the macro side of it, where we see these longer term hidden bullish divergences associated with this uptrend that I went over in a prior video. This 2-day chart, I haven't gone over this in any of the past videos, so we see this broad general uptrend. Like I said, Bitcoin continues to drop. At its worst, I think 43K is where it goes. Other factors and reasons I've went over in past videos to support that, and then also we have this uptrend connecting these low ranges right here and right here to also further validate 43,000. I think the worst case scenario so far. The RSI down here has seen a nice and strong bounce as well. I definitely think there's room for correction, like I was saying, on a 6-hour chart. If we do see Bitcoin end up going above the 786 on this retracement I have on the RSI here, then similar to as we go all the way back to late October of this of last year. This is right when Bitcoin is breaking out above 28, 29, ultimately 30,000. If we look right here, mid-January of 2023, as Bitcoin is breaking up from setting the bear market low around 16K, breaking the 50 EMA band as well. Again, similar to what it looks like currently. If we look here at this, mainly just want to point out this purple dotted resistance right here. At the trajectory, if it continues at its pace, kind of with this parabolic move, let's say we get some sort of like some type of V-shaped recovery here, and we see Bitcoin rapidly recover to break above this and come down and retest and continue to go higher. Around approximately 71,000 will be an important value to see Bitcoin close at or above. Generally around 70.5K to 71,000. Just give it a little bit more room there to be watching out for as it continues, assuming Bitcoin continues to even come back up and retest these local highs, or these will new all-time high, but in this sense local, because I personally think the bull market still has quite a ways to go. Not too much, but it's going to be quite a big move upwards whenever this next uptrend begins, I believe. Here at the 4-day chart, I've been updating, seeing a nice bounce off of this support, as I was talking about in the last video, how intrigued I was to see what happens here as Bitcoin was testing it, going down to around 54,000. Now, the really big thing for this chart, and one of the bigger things for this update for Bitcoin, is this RSI down here. Now, we can see here, if I can try to get my cursor here real quick. Let me see if I can get it to appear. If I can't, then I'll just forget about it. But, all right, anyways, so down here we can see this little turquoise dot. I was mentioning that in the last time I went over this, the Bitcoin, when you see the RSI on this 4-day chart, go below the Bollinger Bands, going all the way back to, especially the beginning of this uptrend back here, you see last time the RSI went below the Bollinger Bands was right here as Bitcoin's setting this local low into the second uptrend of this bull market so far, where the this right here would have been the first uptrend, this right here was the second uptrend. We're seeing now this would have been the correction right here for the first one, and this would be the second correction leading into the third and final uptrend, I believe. Overall, looking something similar to like an impulse wave where we see 5 main stages, three uptrends and 2 downtrends or corrections. But as soon as this turquoise dot was printed right here, the lowest set, Bitcoin continued up. Even if we go all the way back to late January of this year, as soon as this turquoise dot was printed, local low, candle close low, wick low, we saw this second upswing in this overall uptrend right here that I denoted. And go to May 8th, 2024, we see this turquoise dot printed. The local low was set, this small downtrend here was set, and the small uptrend right here within this trading pattern began to go up. And going all the way back, I could go and show more, but these turquoise dots are typically quite accurate when the low takes place. And then even more so, to emphasize, I think, the validity of this indication is the fact that not only is this turquoise dot printed, but the RSI was below the Bollinger Bands as well. So far, it's seen quite a sharp increase. Next thing is going to see the RSI bridging this median right here, and then flipping bullish, seeing this median of the Bollinger Bands turn turquoise rather than being pink. Right now, lastly, this 1.618 is going to be very important. If we can get a 4-day close above this, I think that's going to be quite nice to see as well, and further strengthening this move back up here towards the upside. 2 days, 19 hours are left in this 4-day candle. Currently it's above it, but the 1.61 set basically 62,000. It's also going to be important to see the price get back above this white moving average of this band on the 350 DMA indicator. And then lastly is this 4-week chart. The main thing that I want to point out is the price in comparison to the RSI, but before I get to that, I do want to quickly just point out the color coding of the candles. Those of you familiar with my content might already have acquainted yourselves to what all this stuff means, why they're different colors, and it's not actually just a bunch of random colors, perhaps even hurting your eyes with how just kind of sporadic it is. But anyways, see these not turquoise, but hot pink candles here towards the lows. These are RSI candles denoting when Bitcoin is entering into the bear market low, then kind of drifts sideways, maybe even slightly down for a few months, and then ultimately sets the low and ends up going upwards, where we see this almost literal sideways movement for 2015, roughly the same thing for 2019, 2018, just slightly downwards. And then again, similar to most recent bear market low, although it drifted downwards more than it had in the past. And then I have these turquoise RSI candles denoting the highs. Also, I have these RSI candles here. This one right here, this purple one is kind of light purple. This is a bearish divergence indicator where we can see it's paired with RSI, where I can see the substantially positive resistance slope for these two highs, whereas we look at the RSI, it was going downwards. So you see that bearish divergence fulfilled with a candle. Nothing to see here for the high of 2018. Although we fast forward to the most recent, or I guess at this point, the prior all-time highs in price around 64 to 69K. There was a bearish divergence candle seen after 64K and also 69 after 69K as well. Very precise. Which I find to be quite nice so far. The only bullish divergence candle is the one going all the way back here to 2015. There wasn't even a bullish divergence. Well, actually, there wasn't a bullish divergence in 2018 or 2019, or the most recent bear market low on the 4-weekly chart with the RSI I'm using. But outside of that, I wanted to point that out because I do think whenever Bitcoin sets its high, whether or not it fits my bias over the next 6 to 8 months, I think, yeah, 6 to 8 months. My bad, around 6 to 12 months, so around half a year to a year. I think is when Bitcoin will top out around, like I've been saying, lowest 150, but I think 226,000 approximately will be a sweet spot. But the last thing that I wanted to go over was the RSI down here. Something similar I showed in the last video on the 2-month chart, although this is just slightly lower of a time frame. This is basically the monthly chart given it's the 4-weekly chart. But we see each of these uptrends on the RSI is respected for every single bull market going all the way back to 2011. See the 2015 to 2017 bull market. We see this trend respected right here as it goes parabolic. We see from 2019 to around 2021 was when Bitcoin's hitting 64 to 69K. There was this very brief dip on the March crash, but nonetheless, this trend right here, this linear uptrend, this progression was held even though there was this slight deviation. And then with the current one, as we can see, Bitcoin's coming close to it. May or may not touch it. I don't think it has to touch it, but it could also dip a little bit lower. Bitcoin continue to go lower as well. It definitely doesn't have to continue this upwards movement as it's been seeing within the last few days, really within the last 2 days. But then lastly, I didn't really finish what I was saying with these RSI candles. And whether or not my bias in terms of price target, in terms of time, ends up playing out, I do believe that these RSI candles, turquoise ones, and along with these bearish divergence candles will likely end up being printed whether or not Bitcoin goes higher than my price range for the all-time high, the upcoming all-time high, or if it even goes a little bit below that. But that was all that I wanted to go over in this video as always, and this is meant to be financial advice. But everything being said and all gone over, I hope you all enjoyed and hope you all have a wonderful day.